Assalamu alaikum and welcome to today's video. In I am Israr Ahmad Khan and today we are studying tense and usage. So here's the first slide. Present continuous tense. Future arrangements. I'm training for the Olympics. A general activity that takes place this week, this month, next month, this year. Example, I'm going to Sweden next winter. An activity that is in progress at the moment. Mary is watching TV right now. With this, we come to the end of this slide and move on to the next one. That is simple present tense. A general fact. The sun rises in the east. Describes a habitual action. I run every morning. Also describes future timetables. The ticket office opens at 9. So we move on to the next slide, which is about simple past tense. So here we go. An action that occurred over a period of time and was completed in the past. She skated for 15 years. That means she doesn't skate anymore. An activity that took place regularly in the past. She trained every morning before work. Then, an action that began and ended at a specific time in the past. We won a gold medal last year. Okay, so we move on to the next slide. Yeah, here it comes. Past continuous tense. An interrupted action. I was watching the I was watching the Olympics on TV when he walked in. It describes a repeated or continuous state in the past. I was making many friends at the Olympic Village. So that was past continuous tense. Now we move on to future tense with going to. We are going to win. I know it. What did I say? What did I mean? Predicting something that is likely to happen in the future. Then it is also used to express a prior plan. For example, my brother is going to go there next week. With this, we move to the next slide. That is future tense with will. It expresses willingness to do something. For example, I will go with you if you like. Look at her. She's saying, I'm in. And then making a decision at the time of speaking. I'll call you. Can you see her gestures? Right. Then it is also used for predicting something that is likely to happen in the future. You will win the race. I know it. Okay, so we move on to the next one. Future continuous tense. An action that will be continuing at a particular time in the future. This time next week, I will be training for the race. You see? So that was future continuous tense. Now we have present perfect tense. Present perfect describes an action that happened at an unspecified time in the past. For example, I have seen him on television. It also describes an action that has happened recently. She has just gone out. Look at her. Pretty Zinta says, I don't care. It also describes an action that began in the past and continues in the present, usually with the for or since. For example, she's been training for 2 years. And last but not least, he has been to the Olympics several times. That means a repetitive action is also described in the same tense, and that is present perfect tense. So with this, we move on to the next slide that speaks about present perfect continuous tense. Have a look at these eyes. Wow. Have you been crying? Your eyes are red. An action that began in the past and has just recently ended. John has been swimming for 2 hours, expressing the duration of an action that began in the past and continues in the present with for, since, all morning, all day, all night, blah, blah, blah. Then we have a general action in progress recently for which no specific time is mentioned. For example, I've been thinking about competing next year. So that was present perfect continuous. Now we have past perfect tense. Have a look at the slide, the picture on the left. GIF. An action that began in the past and has just recently ended. I had hoped to get their decision before today. Now, on the right side, she had just left when I arrived there. What does it show? It shows a past action that occurred before another action in the past. That means we are talking about two actions. One happened before, the other one happened afterwards. So the next one, there's this past perfect continuous tense. Have a look at the first GIF, expressing the duration of an activity that occurred before another action in the past year. She had been competing for 6 years before she tried out for the Olympics last year. And then the second one, he looked tired because he had been running for 6 hours. An action occurring recently before another action in the past. So here we go for the next slide, which is future perfect tense. Look at her, she's crying. That means there is something, there is something special about it. So what does the sentence say? By next June, I will have participated in 4 Olympics. Wow. An action that will be completed before a particular time in the future. That means she is going to, compete in the future. So with this, we move on to the next one, and that is future perfect continuous tense, which is the last slide also. It says expressing the duration of time that has occurred before a specific time in the future. For example, by next May, I will have been training at this gym for 11 years. Okay, so here was the usage and there was the example, right? So I tried my best to speak to you in the simplest possible way to make you understand what the tense and its usage speak about without, boring you. That was the reason why I provided you with gifts for every sentence, every example. I hope it must have given you some kind of assistance, some kind of benefit. So with this, I come to the end of today's video. I thank you all for watching this video from English Essentials with IAK, and all the best, and see you in the next video.